disentangling the original concept of Saturn from the later Hellenizing influences proves challenging, particularly following the incorporation of Chronia, the Greek festival aspects, into the Roman Saturnalia. Intriguingly, Saturn worship followed the Greek rite, with uncovered heads, differing from the traditional Roman veiled worship, indicative of the veiled Greek deities themselves. The Templum Saturni, Temple of Saturn, situated at the Roman Forum's outset, houses the Roman treasury, Senate records and decrees, and acted as an ancient bank, if you will, and only certain priests were allowed in. Despite the uncertainty surrounding its founder, the temple believed to be constructed between 497 and 501 BCE, and stands as one of the most ancient monuments in the Roman Forum. The Roman festival of Saturnalia was held during the winter solstice and marked Saturn's agricultural contributions, characterized by role reversals between masters and slaves, street games, the selection of a mock king, and gift exchanges. The festival echoes modern Christmas celebrations, potentially due to the appropriation of Saturnalia following the Roman Empire's Christianization. After Saturn was defeated by Jupiter, he settled in Latium, imparted farming principles on the people, promoted a civil and moral lifestyle, and taught technologies and medicine, and founded the city of Saturnia. His influence extended to the point of being considered the first king of Latium, or Italy, the immigrant god from Greece, or in some cases, the father of the Latin nation, through his son, Picus. Dis Pater, also known as Rex Infernus or Pluto, embodies a central figure in Roman mythology as a deity of the underworld. His initial association revolved around fertile agricultural lands and mineral wealth, aligning him with the subterranean domain from which these valuable minerals emerged. This connection fostered his identification with chthonic gods Pluto, or Hades, and Orcus. Over time, Dis Pater's association broadened to encompass death in the underworld, as the subterranean extraction of precious minerals and gems led to an association with the domain of the dead, overseen by Pluto. In the process of merging identities with Pluto, Dis Pater absorbed certain mythological characteristics of the latter, integrating him into a pantheon of Saturn's and Ops' offspring, alongside Jupiter and Neptune, who is a lot like Poseidon, the ruler over the seas. As a result, he came to preside over the underworld and the dead, like Hades, in tandem with his consort, Proserpina, or Greek Persephone. In literary context, the name Dis Pater served as a symbolic poetic mechanism for referencing the concept of death itself. In some cases, Dionysus, or Father Liber, would be identified with Dis Pater as a prince of the underworld. At times, Dis Pater was equated with the Sabine deity, Serenus. Julius Caesar, in his commentaries on the Gallic Wars, suggests that the Gauls trace their lineage back to Dis Pater, a manifestation of Roman interpretation. In this context, Caesar insinuates that the Gauls believed their ancestry to descend from a Gaulish god whom Caesar thought was Dis Pater. A scholium on the Pharsalia posits Dis Pater as equivalent to Tyrannus, the Gaulish god of thunder, who's also connected to the Germanic god Thor. Additionally, regions such as southern Germany was often considered Dis Pater's children, which connects him with the god Odin, the god of madness and frenzy. Aeneas, a legendary figure of both Trojan and Roman mythology, is renowned as the son of the divine Aphrodite. A part of Troy's royal lineage and a kin of Hector, Aeneas was a distinguished defender of his city during the Trojan War, as Homer relates in the Iliad, demonstrating martial prowess second only to Hector himself. Homer's work subtly hints at Aeneas' discontent with his secondary role, thereby giving rise to a later narrative that posits Aeneas as a conspirator in Troy's betrayal to the Greeks. A more prevalent version of his story portrays Aeneas as the helm of the Trojan survivors following the Greek conquest of Troy. Regardless of these divergent accounts, the common thread in all the narratives is the survival of Aeneas, enabling him to be woven into the fabric of Roman mythology. The connection of Homeric heroes to Italy and Sicily can be traced back to the 8th century BCE, coinciding with the era when Homer's epics were believed to have been transitioned into written form. Greek colonies established in Italy and Sicily during this period and the ensuing century often claimed lineage from figures central to the Trojan War. Aeneas, in particular, was associated with various locals and dynasties, notably within the region of Latium. He was considered to be a son of Venus. Thereby, the Roman people were descendants of Venus. As the Roman Empire expanded throughout Italy and across the Mediterranean, Roman authors, imbued with a sense of patriotism, sought to craft a mythological tradition that would simultaneously infuse their land with historical grandeur and subdue an underlying resentment towards the Greeks' cultural hegemony. Aeneas, in his role as a Trojan adversary of the Greeks, and with a post-war narrative open to interpretation, was uniquely suited to embody the mythical precursor to the inception of Roman supremacy. During the 1st century BCE, it was the esteemed poet Virgil who amalgamated the diverse threads of Aeneas-related legends into the enduring form known today as the Aeneid. The lineage of Julius Caesar, and subsequently Virgil's benefactor Augustus, professed descent from Aeneas and extended to Venus, whose son Ascanius was alternately identified as Ilias. Drawing from these assorted traditions, Virgil composed his magnum opus, the Aeneid. This grand Latin epic featured a protagonist who not only epitomizes the trajectory and objectives of Roman history, but also mirrors the personal journey and political strategies of Augustus, in chronicling the Western Odyssey of Aeneas, from Troy through Sicily and Carthage to the mouth of the Tiber in Italy. Virgil underscored the virtues of tenacity, self-sacrifice, and divine obedience, attributes he believed instrumental in the foundation of Rome itself. Composed between 29 and 19 BCE, Virgil's Aeneid narrates across 12 books the mythic establishment of Latium, the precursor of Alba Longa in Rome, by the Trojan hero Aeneas. As Virgil recounts, when the Greeks seized Troy, the resilient Aeneas was instructed by the apparition of Hector to escape and initiate a significant city abroad. Mustering his family and followers, Aeneas secured the penates, household deities of Troy. Amidst the chaos of evacuation from the burning city, his wife vanished. Her spirit later appeared to him, revealing his destiny to venture to a land in the west where the Tiber River coursed. Thus began Aeneas' epic journey, with stops in Thrace, Crete, Sicily, culminating in shipwreck near Carthage on the African coast. Here, he was hospitably received by Dido, a Punic queen. As he narrated his tale, he fell in love, and he delayed his journey until a stern reminder from the god Mercury refocused him on his ultimate objective, Rome. Racked with guilt, he immediately deserted Dido, who subsequently ended her own life. Resuming his voyage, Aeneas eventually reached the mouth of the Tiber. Upon his arrival, he was warmly greeted by Latinus, the regional king. Nevertheless, several Italians, particularly Latinus' wife, Turnus, contested the Trojan settlers and prospective marriage alliance between Aeneas and Latinus' daughter, Lavinia. War ensued, with the Trojans emerging victorious and Turnus meeting his end. Aeneas wed Lavinia and established Lavinium.